Welcome back to part 2 of the Disney experiment. Last week, we cracked open the gates and slipped behind the curtains into a world of surveillance, psychological influence, and the mysterious early bond between Walt Disney and the U.S. government. We peeled back the shiny surface and whispered about the tunnels beneath the parks. But trust me, that was only the tip of a very large, very strange iceberg. Because if you really want to understand the legend of Disney's mind control, the theories, the rumors, the eerie coincidences, you have to follow the story where it actually lives, in the rides and in the movies. Those carefully engineered experiences, those perfectly timed soundtracks, those blinking lights, colors, stories, symbols, some say they were designed for more than entertainment. Some say they were meant to shape us, guide us, maybe even program us. One song, one scene, one ride at a time. Today, we are stepping deeper into the magic. Past the parades, past the fireworks, past the comforting glow of nostalgia, into a place where every sparkle has a shadow. Are you ready? Because once you see how deep this rabbit hole goes, there is no turning back. My name is Marissa, your morbidly curious host, and this is Death Kiss Traveler, the podcast that dives deep into history, horror, and hauntings, and now a conspiracy at amusement parks and the places you love. Thank you for listening to this episode, and I need your support here. Please hit that subscribe or follow button and comment or like this episode. I read all of your comments, and my fans are amazing. I never thought I would say I have fans. When I started this podcast, it was just a weird niche and a hobby. And now it's so much more. This coming year, I have big plans and goals, and I thank you for coming along for the ride. Follow me on social media at Death Kiss Traveler Podcast. Now let's jump down this rabbit hole. Last week, we talked about how Disney's hidden technology feeds people's suspicion. The underground tunnels, the music, the lighting, the illusion of choice, where guests are nudged to walk down certain paths, gather in certain areas, and look exactly where Imagineers want them to. And it's no surprise some people feel like invisible strings are being pulled. It's not mind control, it's masterful design. But it definitely makes the park feel like it's operating on a level you're not meant to see. Conspiracy theorists don't believe Disney rides are mind control because of any real evidence. Honestly, there isn't any. But because the rides are so meticulously engineered and the experience feels almost unreal, the sensory overload alone, pulsing lights, surround sound audio, animatronics, scent cannons, and perfectly timed movement, creates a total immersive bubble that some interpret as manipulation rather than masterful design. Add in the emotional engineering behind every ride, where Imagineers use psychology, narrative pacing, fear, nostalgia, and reward cycles to spark precise emotional reactions. And it's easy to see how conspiracy theories took root. When an experience can guide your senses and your feelings so flawlessly, people start to wonder if something deeper is going on. Let's break down the rides, and I will let you form your own opinion on this. We start with It's a Small World, or AKA, the hypnotism boat. Pastel colors, perfect smiles, tiny dolls chanting in unison like they know something you don't. And that song, that sweet, cheerful, never-ending loop that burrows deep into your skull until your brain feels like melted Dole Whip. Conspiracy lovers insist the ride isn't innocent at all. They claim it's actually a carefully engineered combo of hypnotic conditioning, emotional softening, trance induction, repetition training. And according to the theory, It's a Small World isn't measuring your joy. It's measuring how long you can withstand weaponized cuteness before your mind cracks like a churro left out in the sun. And the weirdest part? When you step off the boat, You are calm. You are strangely compliant. And that $40 bubble wand you absolutely did not need is calling your name. This same theory also applies for the tiki room. Hypnotic rhythms, repetition, and synchronized audio. Feels harmless, right? And how about the Haunted Mansion? Fear training, Disney style. Yeah, it's fun, spooky, but only if you ignore all the stuff your nervous system definitely didn't consent to. Sudden shrieks, black hallways, whispers that switch ears like they're gossiping about your soul. Think about this. Death, murder, seances, buried alive, hauntings. They all play a part on your subconscious. According to the conspiracy crowd, this isn't just a ride. It is a fear laboratory, quietly studying how you react to controlled terror, environmental manipulation, whispered suggestions, illusions timed perfectly to spike your heart rate. Fear without danger turns your brain into emotional Play-Doh. And rumor has it, Disney is taking notes. This ride is my absolute favorite at Disney. I swear I can smell it right now. The mix of old wood, cool air, and whatever ghostly potpourri they pump through the vents. And honestly, maybe that's part of the mind control. Because think about it, Disney knows scent is the shortcut to your brain. One sniff and suddenly you're nostalgic, emotional, weirdly calm, and totally willing to let a room full of ghosts mess with your senses. Maybe that familiar Haunted Mansion smell isn't just ambience. Maybe it's conditioning, a signature scent that tells your brain, relax, don't question anything, let the spooky house do what it wants. And like clockwork, it works every single time. Now on to Mission Space, Disney's Let's See Who Panics First simulator. Mission Space isn't just a ride. It's NASA training shoved into a shiny orange pod and sprinkled with pixie dust. Mission Space at Epcot is basically Disney asking, do you want a chill trip to Mars? Or do you want to feel your organs rearrange themselves? You get two choices. The orange mission is intense. It's the hold on, your face is about to slide backwards experience. This is the original version of the ride. It uses a centrifuge to spin your capsule and simulate real rocket launch G-forces. You feel your cheeks pull back and your body gets pressed into the seat. For many people, this feels exactly like astronaut training. Not great for people prone to motion sickness, claustrophobia, anxiety, or I like my organs where they are. What you feel is heavy pressure, intensity, a realistic liftoff force. Some people love it, some immediately regret their life choices. I'm the latter. The green side is I want to go to space, but I also want to keep my lunch. This version removes the spinning. No G-forces, no face-melting sensations. It's still enclosed and it's still a simulator, but it feels more like a regular motion ride. The mission storyline is different. You orbit Earth instead of going to Mars. Much gentler and family-friendly, but still immersive. What you feel are bumps, tilts, motion, but no stomach-flipping intensity. When the ride first opened, orange was the only option, and it was far too intense for a lot of guests. So Disney created the green mission to give everyone a safer, no-spin option. So how can this be a psychological experiment? You're locked into a claustrophobic capsule the size of a glorified closet. On the orange side, those G-forces hit you like you owe them money. Emergency lights flash, beeps and alarms keep you anxious. And the storyline? It feels less like an adventure and more like a team-building exercise designed by someone who hates teams. According to conspiracy fans, this whole thing suspiciously mirrors military stress tests, astronaut conditioning, controlled panic drills, and low-grade trauma simulations, all wrapped up in the comforting presence of actor Gary Sinise, who somehow manages to politely yell at you the entire time. If you manage to keep breathing, keep it together, and not slap the abort mission button, congrats! You've officially passed Disney's panic threshold exam. Please accept your motion sickness bag as your diploma. And as we're making our way through the parks, we stop at the Carousel of Progress. Nostalgia, the ultimate mind trick. At first glance, this ride looks completely harmless. Soft music, cozy scenes, a family so wholesome, they make a Hallmark movie look edgy. It's warm, old-timey, comforting, like stepping into your grandma's living room, where everything smells like vanilla and safety. But according to the conspiracy crowd, that feeling isn't accidental. They claim the carousel is actually running obedience programming, happy memory conditioning, the past was perfect brainwashing. Every turn of that rotating theater gently tugs at your nostalgia, whispering, remember when life felt simple? Don't question anything, just enjoy. Everything is great. And your subconscious, wrapped in cozy 1980s lighting and a soundtrack that sounds like your childhood, whispers back, you're right, the past was better. Enjoy my life right now because time goes so quickly. I guess I should buy my kids that Mickey ice cream that my dad bought me. If these conspiracies are true, then Disney isn't a theme park at all. It's the world's largest, happiest psychological experiment. A human lab coated in glitter. An experiment run with motion that tosses you around. Music that rewires your brain. Stories that steer your emotions. Fear that is fun, allegedly. Rewards shaped like churros. Forced family bonding. And enough sensory control to make you spend more money. All wrapped in magic, hidden behind perfect smiles, and presented like the best vacation of your life. A place where millions joyfully stand in line for hours to be studied, and they thank Disney for the opportunity. And here's the big question that might cause some controversy. Maybe this is why Disney adults are the way they are. Why does the smell of the Haunted Mansion hit harder than your high school crush? Why do people spend thousands of dollars just to ride the same attractions again and again and again? Well, conspiracy fans say it's simple. Disney isn't just an amusement park. It's a psychological ecosystem. Every scent, every sound, every cue, every nostalgic tune from your childhood is engineered to press the exact emotional buttons that make your brain light up like the 4th of July. Those familiar smells, they're memory triggers. Little time machines that transport you straight back to the safest, happiest version of yourself. And your brain loves that. It's comfort, it's predictability, it's emotional certainty in a world that feels like chaos. The rides you adored as a kid, your brain still remembers. So when you go back, you're not just visiting a theme park, you're revisiting a version of you that felt wonder, excitement, and magic without question. That's why Disney adults exist. They're chasing connection to childhood, to comfort, to a place where the world makes sense. And Disney knows exactly how to keep that hook in your heart. With the scents, the sounds, the nostalgia, and maybe, if the conspiracies are right, a few psychological experiments sprinkled in between. In the end, you don't just come back for the rides. You come back because Disney quietly whispers to your brain, remember how this felt. And your brain every single time says, yeah, take me back. But we can't forget about the movies that shaped our childhood. They may have also shaped our beliefs. Most people think Disney films are harmless. Bedtime stories about princesses, animals, and sparkly magic. But conspiracy theorists, they say something way spookier. Disney movies were the CIA's greatest psychological tool, a weapon of mass story destruction. Sorry, I had to. They were used to influence culture from the inside out, especially during the Cold War. Because if you want to influence an entire generation, you don't use the news or politics, and you don't use boring government pamphlets no one reads. You use stories, bright colors, catchy songs, talking animals that tell you who the hero is, princesses that teach morals through musical numbers. You'd use Disney. And here's the freaky part. This isn't even a conspiracy at all. Some of it is documented history. Between the 1930s and the 1960s, the CIA actually did work hand in hand with Hollywood. They funded films, edited scripts, cut scenes they didn't like. They approved storylines in the national interest, removed anything that made America look bad. And Disney? Well, Disney was the golden child, the teacher's pet of propaganda. Why? Because Walt's studio was patriotic, family-friendly, visually groundbreaking, trusted by kids and adults alike, and low-key shaping the worldview of literally every child on Earth. If you're the government and you wanted to influence culture, you don't talk to politicians. You talk to the guy who controls childhood. Walt wasn't just sprinkling pixie dust. He was extremely cozy with the U.S. government. We talked about this last week, but in brief, he worked with the FBI, made propaganda films during World War II, partnered with defense agencies, pushed anti-communist messaging, allowed government operatives inside the Disney studios. Actual FBI documents label him as a, quote, trusted source, end quote. So when Disney movies promoted certain values, conspiracy theorists say it wasn't just art, it was messaging. From the moment we're old enough to hold a remote, we're fed worlds, characters, fears, heroes, villains, love stories, and warnings. And our brains? They absorb it all like emotional sponges. The stories we watch subtly sculpt our beliefs. What danger looks like, what love feels like, what happiness should be, who to trust, who to fear, and what normal even means. Every frame, every soundtrack cue, every perfectly timed plot twist is a tiny nudge, a whisper telling us how the world works. Some call it art, some call it influence, and the conspiracy crowd, well, they call it programming. So let's get into these so-called programs, and this is where things get both fun and creepy. According to the conspiracy theorists, Disney classics are full of reoccurring themes that just so happen to match with Cold War propaganda goals. We can't have a good Disney movie without an anti-authoritarian villain. Scar in The Lion King, basically the textbook scheming tyrant, brooding in the shadows, plotting to take the throne while everyone else naps. Jafar in Aladdin, a wink and nod character of those over-the-top, cloak and dagger bad guys you've read about in history books. Ursula in The Little Mermaid, the ultimate authoritarian deal-maker, spinning contracts and rules like a miniature bureaucratic nightmare, straight out of a communist manifesto, but with tentacles. Disney villains aren't just scary. They're social commentary dressed in velvet, fur, and dramatic monologues. And Disney movies are known for their extreme individualism, a perfect match for U.S. ideology at any given time. Moana, one girl pushes an entire civilization forward. Brave, your destiny is yours alone. That's my favorite Disney movie. And A Bug's Life, one ant versus the collective, all lining up eerily well with the CIA's messaging. Distrust authoritarianism. Fear outsiders. Celebrate the individual. Choose freedom. Coincidence or cooperation? And of course, you remember the princess movies from your childhood, right? The songs, the castles, the magic, and the oddly familiar feeling that love solves everything. But here's the thing. Conspiracy fans argue these movies are secretly teaching us how to behave. starting before we even know what a relationship is. Take the classic princesses, Snow White, Cinderella, Aurora. They spend most of their stories waiting for a prince, for a letter, for something to happen, and then, bam, a hero shows up, solves the problem, and claims the reward. Subtle messaging? Being passive and compliant gets you what you want. And it's not just about waiting, it's about looking the part. Almost every heroine is conventionally beautiful. Every villain is grotesque or exaggerated. It's like the movies are saying, pretty equals good, ugly equals dangerous. The funny thing is I love the villains. And those female villains, Ursula, Maleficent, Lady Tremaine, they're ambitious, independent, powerful, and punished for it. Conspiracy fans call it a warning label for ambitious women. Step out of line and you end up with tentacles or a poison apple. It doesn't just stop with the movies. Toys, merchandise, and nostalgia loops reinforce these lessons over and over, creating a multi-generational echo chamber of expectation. So next time you find yourself humming a princess song or reminiscing about a ride, maybe you're not just remembering the magic. Maybe you're remembering a blueprint on how to behave and what happily ever after really looks like. We can't talk about Disney conspiracies and not talk about the aliens, labs, and hidden realms theory. Yeah, this one is real too. Starting in the 1950s, Disney suddenly started producing movies about aliens, secret government labs, hidden societies, strange technology, portals and alternate worlds. Examples are Escape to Witch Mountain, The Black Hole, Meet the Robinsons, Tomorrowland, and all the superhero movies. And there's so much more. Conspiracy theorists believe this was a slow conditioning, a soft disclosure, planting weird concepts early so society would accept them later, like prepping kids for UFO disclosures, secret lab revelations, multiverse theories, and government tech leaks. Could Disney be preparing us for something? I don't know, but it is a good conspiracy. And last, Disney movies are emotional programming. Disney movies follow a formula so precise, it's like your brain is being choreographed. Innocence, trauma, triumph, emotional resolution. Conspiracy fans say it's not just storytelling, it's emotional training wheels for kids. Process emotions in predictable ways. See certain authorities as safe or good. Trust mentors, kings, wizards, fairy godmothers. Accept hierarchy as natural. Feel nostalgic for specific values. Connect morality to American culture ideas. In other words, according to the theory, Disney isn't just telling stories. It's quietly whispering to your subconscious, "Here's how the world works, kiddo. Sing along." And just like that, with a catchy song and a happy ending, your brain has taken notes, and you didn't even notice. But the blueprint already memorized. And trust me, there is so much more to this theory. But alas, my time is up, and I'm keeping this ride strictly in my theme park lane. No politics on my podcast, I promise. That said, if your curiosity has peaked and your inner detective is itching, I highly encourage you to hop on and do your own research. Dig deep, connect the dots, and see what you uncover. Just maybe, keep a churro handy. It's gonna be a wild ride. So whether Disney is a ride that spins your organs sideways or a movie that tugs at your heart in nostalgia, the truth is Disney knows exactly what they're doing. Movies teach us how to feel, who to trust, and what a happy ending looks like. Rides, they take those lessons and turn them into a full body experience. Smells, sights, sounds, even fear and joy measured down to the heartbeat. Put them together and you've got a perfect storm of emotional engineering. one that keeps us coming back, craving the comfort, the thrill, the magic, even decades later. So next time you hum a Disney song, step into the Haunted Mansion, or get blasted into orbit on Mission Space, remember it's more than entertainment. It's a little blueprint for your brain, and a very, very fun one at that. Remember, everything we've talked about today and last week falls into the realm of conspiracy theories, entertaining ideas, spooky speculations, and nothing confirmed. I love Disney, I love the parks, and I love the magic they create. This episode is just for fun, curiosity, and storytelling. So don't come for me, Disney. I still want to ride Space Mountain. This podcast is researched and written by me, Marissa. Produced by Sunkissed Traveler. Are you thinking of a Disney vacation? I know you are. Or how about a Caribbean cruise? Sunkissed Traveler helps you plan a super fun vacation wherever you want to go. See show notes for details or visit sun-kissedtraveler.com. That's a wrap for today, and I will see you next week with a crazy Christmas episode that you won't want to miss. I'll see you next week.